You're human and not a robot that can be programmed to just do something without complaining or having any feelings. Your emotions are involved, and that, my dear, is something you cannot just throw away. And I understand this, but for the sake of your mental health and getting your life back, you own it to yourself to get over your ex. Before they came into your life, you were living just fine, and after they are gone, you're still capable of living that life. It is all in your mindset. Beloved, no one should make you feel like you're being pathetic because you find it hard to get over your ex. It takes time, and eventually you will get there. Some people feel they're stupid or something must be wrong with them to still feel love for their ex, and so they beat themselves up over and over again to get rid of that emotion. Some go as far as doing harmful things to their health because they are trying to force themselves to hate their ex because of what they have done, but I tell you, you're only doing more harm than good. The first stage in solving a problem is to acknowledge that the problem exists. So the first thing you need to get over your ex is to acknowledge that you still love them, and I tell you, this is natural. The heart is not a switched bulb that you can just switch off and it turns off. This takes time. Eventually you'll get. It's natural to have mixed feelings. One minute you hate them, and the next you're crying because you miss him or her so much and it hurts. Our emotions don't always follow a linear path. There are ups and downs and some unpleasant turns in between, but at the end of the day, with the right focus, you will get over it. So if you find yourself still in love with your ex, don't blame yourself or feel stupid because you're unable to move on. You should tell yourself this is a different kind of love. You should think about it this way: as a love for a place you visited before, and that is normal. Think about it as the love of Christ that you have for every other person, and with time it begins to sink in. When you understand that the love you still feel for them is natural, it allows you to not think about them romantically or worry about the things they're doing with their life. Gradually you begin to see them as normal people, and that's how you get over them. I'm not saying you should become enemies with them for the rest of your life. No, maybe somewhere in the future, when you are over them, you can communicate with them freely and they even become friends. But for now, you cannot be friends or talk to them because it will keep you stuck at a place, making you feel there is still a chance that you both will get back together. For the sake of your mental and physical health, this should be the first thing you should do, because when you don't see things about them on social media or hear about them, it makes you worry less and stop thinking about them. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but I know it will be worth it. In the end, it will help you forget them. Normally after a breakup, we want to somehow keep seeing that person even on social media to see if they're having a great life after breaking up with you. A larger percentage of your mind wants to see them broken as much as you are, but what you end up seeing is not what you expected seeing, so it leaves you more broken. It makes you begin to think if maybe the problem was with you, and you wonder if they ever loved you, and none of those line of thoughts are good for your self-worth. You don't have to know where they are, what they're doing, or who they're with. Yes, it can be crushing to be out of someone's life who was once your world, but right now the priority is your life journey, and they no longer have a place in it. You should also know that no matter how you think about it, you cannot force them to be in a relationship, and you cannot be friends with them right away until you're completely healed. When you're no longer communicating with them at first, it is hard, because they will be all up in your thoughts. You will think about them and worry about them, and you might be pushed to call them. But make a conscious effort not to, and as time goes by, it becomes easier, until they're no longer in your thoughts, and even when you think about them, the pain and worry are no longer there. Just if you have not fully gotten over your ex, and you're still affected by them, is that you've made yourself a prisoner of your past. You think about all the things you had to give up just so that relationship works out, but in the end it doesn't, and it hurts. You think of the time wasted, emotions wasted, and maybe your money. The more you feel disappointed in yourself, the more you will never get over them or stop thinking or worrying about them. You unconsciously make them an important part of your life without you realizing it, and you give them the opportunity of determining how you live your life. Breakup normally leaves people with regret and anger. You're constantly thinking about what you should have done better, or constantly thinking about your ex's behavior and how they made you do certain things that you're not proud of. Some are filled with anger, and it pushes them to want to get back to their ex. But that, my dear, will not give you peace. While others are filled with self-pity for themselves, and because of that feeling, they push out all the negative that went on in the relationship and just concentrate on the good times. The only way you can heal and get back your life is to forgive yourself for the things you did, and also forgive your ex. Forgiveness is not for them, but your sake. The pain and regret will only push you to the point where you only see your mistakes without seeing theirs, and that reduces your self-esteem. Forgiving them for the things they put you through is not a sign of weakness, but a sign of strength and maturity. It shows you're big enough to let them go and have your confidence back. Beloved, let go of that shame, disappointment, and the pain you feel. Forgive your past and forgive your ex. From there, you begin to have peace of mind, and need to think or worry about them doesn't arise anymore. Lastly, a very important thing you need to do to get over your ex and stop thinking or worrying about them is to love yourself more. When in a relationship, we get so busy trying to love the next person that we forget to be good to ourselves, forget our worth and the things we deserve. In the pursuit of love, you completely ignore the warning signs your body was telling, and you go all out. Remember who you were before you met them, and the things you wanted to achieve. Now is the perfect time to soak yourself into those things you love doing and those things that you're happy with. Your mental health will be more than okay when you learn to understand, accept, forgive, and empathize with yourself. This is one of the most difficult things to do after a breakup, but it's the most important. Without doing this, you might never really see yourself as worthy and deserving of love. Whether you're the reason for the breakup or the victim, you need to forgive yourself and move on. Thinking or worrying about your ex doesn't help you or help them. God still has a wonderful plan for you. You're still wonderfully and fearfully made, and your Mr. Right or Miss Right is out there. You will get the love you want because you deserve it. Everything will eventually fall in place. Just trust the process and allow God to walk you through this. My prayer for today is that as you begin to do this, may the Lord heal you within the shortest time possible. In Jesus' name, amen. As always, remain blessed.